Okay. So I'm saying companies are also concerned about regulations and the fallout of potential data loss with fines from governing bodies or the impact of the Data Protection Act. Okay. The financial impact of this ransom thing on to any organization is very much larger than the initial ransom. Okay, so let's just demonstrate something little. Okay, so if let me say I am the bad guy out here, and then I have taken over the system of company A. Okay, so immediately I take over the system or I lock out company A, and then I now have access to company A systems. This is usually something, let me say, not much of an issue if, let me say, company A is willing to comply to my terms. Okay, so my terms will be, okay, company A, make a ransom payment of, let's say, 10,000 Ghana cedis. I want to see this transferred into, let me say, account so, so, and so within a period of 24 hours, or even 24 hours may be too long. Let's say within the next 12 hours, I want to see 10,000 Ghana cedis inside of this account. Then I will release your system back to you. So you realize that the problem has arrived and the solution is just 12 hours away. So all depending on company A complying to my terms. So if company A complies to my term, within the next 12 hours, your system is back, your business is back running, and maybe your customers may not know that something of the sort happened. Your company will still be in good standing after just 12 hours. But what will make this escalate or become a major or a more of a financial loss or cause a financial impact to company A is when company A decides to drag their feet. So instead of making a 10,000 Ghana cedis payment, they try to play around it, delaying and all have you. Then 12 hours is passed. So after 12 hours, the bad guy, which is me, I come out again. Okay, so you didn't make the payment of this. All right, so I am still going to seize or hold onto your system until you make that payment. Maybe I give you another, let me say 3 hours in addition to the 12. You don't. And then I increase the amount from 10,000 to let's say 15. You don't comply, I increase to 20. You don't comply, 30. On and on and on and on. So you understand that what maybe before, or let me say at the end of the day, if company A then decides to comply, they may end up paying 50,000 Ghana cedis instead of the initial 10,000 Ghana cedis. And mind you, by then, 48 hours had passed, and then you had lost your customers or lost your potential business opportunities and all have you. So basically, that is the whole idea around these ransomware guys. Okay, so this is basically how they play around the minds of organizations. Cyber criminals behind ransomware are constantly innovating with more connected devices around. Let me say, so we can expect to see ransomware appear in new device categories than ever seen before. So these bad guys, they are very much sophisticated, and then you try this, they have another way out. You try something, they have another way out. So to outsmart the thief, you just always have to have the mind of the thief. Okay. Yes. So still on the polls. So like I said, 2020, 2020 was one of the years that were ransomware really hit a lot of people. And then you could, from the table here, you could see the manufacturing industry, government agencies, educational services, healthcare, utilities, technology, logistics, and all of you. This is just from the diagram out here. So it's something which uh, um, makes us understand that what this ransomware thing care less of your industry. I mean, if technological industries are even one of the most hit people, then we can as well assume or conclude that there's no other safer place than the safety of we ourselves to actually avoid these bad guys coming in into our systems. Okay. So a ransomware evolution. So
Hello.
initially, it is just basically um, let me say a flow of how the ransomware has evolved over the years. So sometimes it starts as a misleading applications, and then sometimes let me say in the early days of computer, okay, you could be on the web browsing, and all of a sudden you chance or something, and then it's, I mean, the advert or the pop-up looks very lucrative or something intriguing that perhaps you would want to explore more. Perhaps you want to explore more. So you may end up clicking on it, and then it will take you to a different site. You click on the advert, it takes you to a different thing altogether. So you may perhaps think you are clicking on A, you clicked on A before you realize it takes you to B. Okay, so it misleads you to move you into a different state. So in the early ages of 2008, 2014, they came out with rogue, or let me say fake antiviruses. So you may be on your browser, and then an antivirus will just pop up that, oh, a system, something has been detected, something has been detected on your system. So click to install this antivirus to actually scan your system and then get rid of the issue that has been identified. As ignorant as some of us may be, we will just click on it, and then the next thing that happens is we have installed a malicious software, and then through that these bad guys have access to your system. Okay, and then it's moved on to the local ransomware, where now it locks your system. Okay, your system is completely locked, and then until the ransom or whatever demand comes out, then your system is released back. And then more recently, we have now gone into a newer phase of these ransom thing, and then that is the crypto ransomware. I think over some few years back, this cryptocurrency thing, I mean, really came into the system, and that almost everybody is jumping into it. Crypto here, crypto there, and then most of these cryptocurrencies or crypto stuff are all malicious softwares, which at the end of the day leads to these ransomware or ransom attacks. Okay, yeah. Okay, so the ransomware is designed for, let me say, direct revenue generation, which I believe I earlier on made mention of. Okay, so these guys out there, all that they are looking for is money. Okay, so that is someone's stable source of income. That's someone's business to lock you out or hack into your system, take over your whole system, and then demand a ransom or a salary in one way or the other. Okay, so when that commitment is made, then we could say that what, income has been generated from these bad guys. Okay, the four most prevalent direct revenue generating risk include, like, basically what I have indicated here. Okay, okay. All right, so this is just a diagram of how some of these misleading applications usually do pop up. Okay, so let me say you are on your browser. So the first wave of misleading application began to appear in somewhere around 2004, 2005, okay, posing as fake spyware removal tools or performance enhancement tools. Okay, this mainly affected Windows, but did also target the OX, that's the Apple OS and kind of thing. Typically exaggerated the impact of issues such as, let's say, unused registry entries and corrupt files, and would resolve them if the user paid between, some dollars, some few dollars or pounds or, euros, depending on where the bad guy is coming from. Okay, so I don't know if we look at this particular diagram, maybe it can draw our minds back to Windows XP days, the days of formative age of Windows, or let me say Microsoft. You could be browsing or using your PC, and then some pop-ups, like this. Okay, so attention, look at something. Okay, so if some could even come in the form of to enhance your performance. Some may read, okay, system slowdown detected. Okay, so click on this to scan through your system and resolve the slowdown or increase the speed on your device, on your computer. Even phones of late, you could be, on your phone, and there's some pop-ups come that was your phone is running slow. Okay. These are usually from some apps that we install on the phone and all that. You say the phone is running slow. Okay, so scan your phone and then free up space and then boost performance of the phone and all have you. And some of us will just click on it, and then the next thing, whatever that happens at the background, we are unaware of. So the software then begins to scan our system, looks out for vulnerabilities, takes advantage of those vulnerabilities, and then at the end of the day, use those vulnerabilities as threat against us and demand for ransoms before your system is actually resolved. Okay, so this how some of the misleading applications um, look like. They come in the form of, yes. And then the fake antivirus, the rogue of, let me say, fake antivirus. Okay, so that this basically in the years between the years 2008 2009, when cyber criminals to from the fake or from the misleading application switched to this fake antivirus. Okay, a more aggressive category of misleading applications. Okay, so these tools mimicked the appearance and functionality of legitimate security software and performed lightning fast mock scans, claiming to find a large number of threads and issues on the computer. Okay, so usually you'll be browsing or using your system or your computer, then this fake antiviruses will just pop up. Okay, they pop up and then say, oh, virus detected, virus here, this here has been detected. So allow a free scan. Usually it comes as free scan. Okay, so ignorant as we are, we just click to scan, and then it's some ideally perform the same functions as the legitimate antiviruses, or let me say your Windows Defender. Well, the kind of services that your Windows Defender or your genuine, let me say, Avast or McAfee will perform. They try to mimic that performance, or they try to mimic that behavior, and then demonstrate it on your system, causing you to think that what, okay, indeed, it's a good antivirus because it has been able to pull out about 25 issues on my computer. Okay, so if about 25 issues have been pulled out of my computer, and then the next step is say click here, asks you to click on this to resolve or to clean your system and make your system super fast. And then, okay, we also follow, I mean, the directions in that regard. So at the end of the day, at the end of the day, this fake antivirus tries to clean your system, but on the bland side of you, it introduces what? Something really treacherous to your system, or let me say to your computer. And then that is a direct access into your computer, your files, and your information. Okay. So when it happens that way, then demands could be made. Pay this, pay that, make this amount of payment, and then your system will be restored back to you. Okay, so this is how some of these fake antivirus behave. Okay, yeah, from the bad guys. All right, so this is also another form of how these fake antivirus things do present themselves. Okay. All right, so this is also for, like I mentioned earlier, for our phones, usually the Android guys. Okay, you could be using your phone, and then some of these things will just pop up that your system is running slow. Okay, do this, do that, and then they even come out with, I mean, a whole lot of things. I don't know if any of us have experienced something of the sort, and maybe we can share at the end of this presentation just to, get us all informed about if let's say new development or new tricks that any of us here perhaps may have experienced. Okay. Yes, so the local ransom, as local ransomware was, I mean, refined, it went from just reporting non-existent errors, okay, to actually beginning to introduce errors and problems, okay, and then eventually it dropped any pretense of being a helpful tool, okay, to just displaying a blatant request for payment to restore access to the computer. You see, this is because in the early days, okay, attackers trick victims into downloading fake tools to um, to fix computer issues. All right. Today, ransomware can be installed without any user interaction through drive-by downloads. Okay, it can be installed without you even having to do or go through any process. Despite this, local ransomware creators still continued, let me say, to use social engineering techniques, okay, to convince users to pay the ransom. All right, the threat began to pose as law enforcement notices instead of AV software and system performance tools. All right, so this local ransomware, that is basically the behavioral pattern or demonstration of these localware, I mean local ransomwares. Okay, so your system is locked, I mean, completely locked, shut down, kind of, and then you are demanded to make a ransom commitment before your system is, restored back to you. All right. Okay. So this is also another um, uh, way the local ransomware on some Android phones, So for instance, I said that everybody, your device was used to visit website containing pornography. Following violations were the following violations were detected, and then they pop up. I mean, all these kind of things to you. In fact, at the initial stages, you may even think that, wow, this is really, really sorry, sorry. Hello. Can you hear me, please?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I think my network just jammed. Okay. Yes. So like I was saying, we now are into this new phase of this ransomware thing. Okay. We are now into can you see my screen?
No.
Your screen is
No.
not appearing.
Okay, then let me share my screen again. Just a moment, please. Um, um, where are you? Okay. 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 All right. Can you see it now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Sorry for the breakdown. I mean, sometimes our network is very bad. All right, sure. Okay, so like I was saying, crypto ransom, in other words, the crypto locker, or the more modern ransomware, bad guys. Okay, through this crypto stuff. So 3 years ago, one strain of ransom known as crypto locker dominated and demanding money with menaces malware scenes. Okay, so I've just some few reports here. Let me just read it out quickly. The U.S. Department of Justice suggested that the crew behind Crypto Locker raked, in September and October 2013, a sum of $27 million in the first okay. Hello. Okay, so please, can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. So I was saying, so just between September, October 2013, all right, a sum of 27 million USD alone in the first 2 months was reported. This according to the US Department of Justice. And then in 2014, a survey was also conducted by the University of Kent in England, estimated that in 30 British computer users had been hit by crypto locker, and that 40% of those are paying hundreds of dollars each in blackmail money to recover their data. You get that? And in the May 2014, the U.S. Department of Justice also conducted multiple country takedown of a notorious botnet called Game Over Zeus that targeted victims while they were doing online banking. Okay, and would you believe it? While the cops were raiding the Game Over servers, they came across the crypto locker infrastructure as well and took down those servers at the same time, pulling off a neat double play. But any celebration about the damage done to the ransom were seen as a whole was short-lived. Okay, so
So
this is just something small, a small report or info about this crypto locker thing. Okay, so I think I know of a few of these cryptos company things. Sometimes they come up, that I don't even know how to even put it. I don't even know how to put it. Okay, so they come advertising some lucrative, uh, Bitcoin, portrayed to be genuine Bitcoin distributors or investment kind of. Okay, they run adverts and all have you, some pop-up adverts and all have you on your computer screen. So perhaps whilst browsing, this advert will just pop up. Okay, and then they show this something like testimonials. Okay, this person has won or has raked about 25,000 Bitcoin. Okay, and so as aggressive or let's say greedy some of us may be, we just be like, okay, let me just click on this and see what is happening. Okay, that your next click leads you to your next doom. Okay, you click on it and then you end up realizing that what you have just sold your soul out. Just to put it out, you have just sold your soul out. I mean, you sold your computer out. Okay, and then and basically around those angles. Okay, all right, so these are just about some crypto ransomware families, and I don't know if maybe any of us here have come across these before. All right, and then these particular one, they do exist for both Windows, Android, and even the Macs. Okay, okay, so crypto ransom, let me say target. Okay, so these are some of the systems or the places that they do target your disk, connected devices, let's say USB disks and or have you, mapped network drives, other accessible folders, I mean shared local network on your local network, your Dropbox, your OneDrive, and or have you. Okay, social engineering flow, lucky ransomware. Okay, so when you look at the flow of a typical local ransomware infection, security defenses have, let's say, 7 opportunities to stop the malicious encryption of your data. Okay, so attackers send, let's say, a weaponized email. Okay, so if let's say your spam filter system is not, I mean, strong or strengthened enough to identify some of these let's say weaponized email, it can quickly jump or, I mean, cross it and then move into your inbox. Okay, a lot of let me say organizations don't have strong spam filters, or perhaps ignorantly some users may have, you know, identified previous mails which should be spam. They have identified them and granted them legitimate access into their inbox. Okay, so maybe your email system identifies a particular email as a spam or fraudulent, blocks it, sends it into the spam folder, and then the user unknowingly goes to click, open the spams folder, identifies that email, reads the email, the content makes, some meaning, and then decides to give that email access into inbox directly. So that is one way this ransom, this kind of emails will skip the spam filter and then jump into your let me say your inbox. Okay, and then when it comes into your inbox, okay, invoices, some docs, and then all are viewed, and then usually most at time what happens is when some attachments come from these ransom guys into our emails, um you know per its look, you may not be able to easily identify that what this particular document is malicious or contains malicious codes. Okay, so you might just want to open it, see the in fact, download it, and then downloading is the entry point. As soon as it's downloaded, then the malicious codes which are inside of that doc or program have finds residence inside of your computer's downloads folder. Okay, so at that point in time, your antivirus even may not be able to identify it. Okay, and then it jumps all in all, and then your Microsoft Word opens it. Okay, so your Microsoft Word now has a document, reading it to you as a legitimate document, simply because your spam filter couldn't do the catching, your antivirus couldn't also do the hot catching. So the document now has what, let me say, permanent residence on your computer, and the Microsoft Word also picks it up. Okay, and then sometimes it may ask enable content editing, or those kind of things. Yes, the user enables it for he or she to be able to edit the document, create and run batch file, and then run Windows script, download binary, and then maybe your web filter also, is not properly in place. Okay, because usually when let me say an attachment is being sent, your email, or let me say your browser sometimes do scan the document for viruses and those malicious softwares. Okay, and then if your device, or let's say your browser, is not able to do that, then the document finds expression in your email, goes back to wherever it's being sent to. Okay, yeah, so basically that's just the flow. All right, so your web filter failed, web address not blocked. Okay, antivirus fails again, and then the process continues. Okay, then let's see, the file pops up to run on your device, and negotiates encryption, web filter fails, and that's communication is not blocked, and then encrypt data, delete shadow copies, removes local backups of files. Okay, so when that document, or let me say the malicious stuff, gets into your system, it has that mechanism to, I mean, deal treacherously with your system, deal very well with your system, and then files that needs to be logged will be logged. Those that need to be blocked will be blocked. Those that need to be copied will be copied. Okay, and those backups that perhaps you could retrieve in the future will also be given access to and then blocked. Okay, so as soon as all these programmed processes take place in the malicious code, or in the ransomware, by from the ransomware guys, the what happens then is the display ransom note. Okay, so the note comes that what your system has been logged. Let me share this quick example. Okay, I think some time ago I received an email, and then I mean some of these fraudulent emails. Okay, and the email was reading that we've been able to go through your system for the past 2 weeks. We were going through your system. We programmed some software. I mean, you clicked on it, and then we realized that what's the name? You 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 have been visiting sites so and so and so, and you visited some pornographic sites, some nude sites, and all those kind of things. We have screenshots of your conversations. We have pictures of your conversations, and then I mean, we have your nude pictures and all have you. I mean, those kind of things. Okay, inside the email. I mean, very well constructed email. Okay, so I read this, and then I look at it, and then it also indicates or states that um okay, so I am not a bad guy, or it sounds like you are fortunate that I have even sent you this email to inform you about this. Okay, I want to help you. What you do is send just 50 or let's say $50 into this Bitcoin account or this Bitcoin wallet or Bitcoin number, and then I will not, I mean, showcase the evidence I have about you. I will not send it out. I know that you're a reputable man, you're a responsible man, you are this, that. So do this, and then, you know, I mean, do my part of the bid, and let me also do your part of the bid. Okay. So something like this. Okay. The first thing maybe you may ask yourself is, okay, well, do I visit the site the guy is saying that he has evidence of my visit? Do I engage in things like this? Do I do things of the sort that the guy has stated that I do? If I don't, knowing myself very well, I don't think that email should even be something that should bother me. Okay, it shouldn't be something that should bother me for me to perhaps start to take action, you know, or start to take some actions, compliant actions on the side of the ransom guy. Okay, so a mail like that, you just quickly have to brush it off, or let me say, get rid of it. Okay, and then tell your email that is a spam, so that subsequently it locks it in the spam, or I mean it locks it in the spam, or even prevents its access into your inbox. Okay, so that's just to, I mean, by the way. Okay, so when this ransom note is displayed on your computer, you begin to, maybe that is where it begins. Okay, that is where the whole, I mean, trouble begins. Okay, so you realize that your system has now been taken over by the bad guys. Okay, and the bad guys are telling you that okay, the bad guys are telling you that your system is locked. So let's begin business, or I mean, let's start to negotiate some deals. All right, do this, send this amount into this wallet, and then I'll have your system released back to you. And most often than not, as soon as the ransom alert appears on your screen, the clock begins to tick. Okay, so they show you some clock on the screen which will begin ticking. Okay, so if it is 2 hours they've given you to make that ransom commitment, as soon as the message comes, you finish going through, then the clock starts ticking. Okay, the clock starts ticking, and in that order, it starts ticking. Then at the end of the day, you'll be forced. Okay, you'll be forced to comply simply because you need your systems back. Okay. But most often than not, just a quick one to pass through. This may perhaps not be a problem, okay, if you have a well structured let me say um backup system or a system in place such that let me say a SOC or something in place such that where these bad guys take over this system, it does not really affect your business that much if you don't make the commitment where you can actually take your time, get in the expert to actually get the issue resolved. Okay, so in that case, you don't make the commitment or make that ransom demand. Okay, you just get in your good guys who will come or who can come and then resolve the ransomware issue. Okay, in that case, it means that you have another system elsewhere where you can take over from. I mean, you can continue from, okay, and you can continue your processes from, okay. Okay, today's approach to IT security is falling behind, okay. Attack surface exponentially larger lowest, I mean, okay. Attackers are becoming, more sophisticated by the day. All right. They are becoming more sophisticated by the day. They are becoming more organized by the day. They are becoming more coordinated by the day, okay? And they are employing, I mean, more brains, okay? They are employing or raising more brains, I mean, in this era, okay? And then the rise of let me say bring your own device policies and then personal cloud storage are eroding the network perimeter. Okay, this new systems that have been introduced to get organizations working also more or less like what permits or gives these bad guys the opportunity to I mean come in hard on the good guys. Two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. And I am not so sure about the former. There's Albert. So okay, so social engineering, there is no patch to human stupidity. Like footprinting, this is a very big aspect of hacking these days. It's not something people can teach, but more of a practice makes perfect. Okay. Let me read something. I love the phrase, there is no patch to human stupidity. While I agree, this has zero to do with social engineering, as it would make you think only stupid people are stupidly engineered. No, everybody at some point in their life has been socially engineered. We have it all the time. It's not a new concept. It comes down to how humans are built. We have this very complex and rational side to use that works and does risk assessment to determine if we should do something or should we not do it. That works fine. But we also have these very prehistoric, very strong emotions that will sometimes flare up. And when they do, they outweigh the rational and logical side of our brain. The way social engineering works is I want you to think emotionally, not logically. I want you to think emotionally, not logically. Now, this doesn't mean I have to make you angry or mad or happy with me. I can use any emotion you have. And if I can make you think emotionally, I can socially engineer you. For the guys, how many, when you were younger, went to a bar and bought a drink for a girl who you knew you never knew you had zero chance with, but you bought her a drink anyway? You were socially engineered. Women just like my wife how many times do you go shopping and there is a sign um, for BOGOF? You had no plan on buying that to begin with, but it's such a good deal that you can't pass it up. Okay, so this thing I'm reading here is just an elaboration, or just to let us see the human part of this social engineering issue when it comes to the ransom attacks. Okay, so these bad guys, knowing very well the psychology of humans or human being, the thinking patterns and processes, would, I mean, they try to play on your or on our intelligence, or play on our emotions. Each and every individual has a way they react to a situation. Okay, so if a ransom pops up on your screen, all right, how are you going to react first of all? What is going to be your first reaction? Okay, if we have let me say two individuals, and they both have this message on their screen, they are all going to react to it in a unique way. And based on their reaction on the matter, the outcome will indicate who actually, um, I mean, let me say, acted in a more appropriate way, who acted in a more appropriate way to resolve the issue. Okay. All right. Let me go through the charts and then see what is happening there. Maybe I can get something to address. Okay. Okay. Um, okay. Okay. So I understand there's some echo coming in. I'm sorry about that. That's sorry, please, can we term the approach of Innovari for this Zoom meeting as a step from initiating malware? Please, can we term the approach of Innovari for this Zoom meeting as a step from initiating malware? This is coming from Benedict. Okay, that Benedict, you are asking if this Zoom meeting thing is um an initiation of a malware. Well, if I do get you right, okay, I'm just trying to get some of these your comments and your contribution out there. If we have to chip it in and then keep the conversation going. Okay, so if I do get you right, and then my understanding from your question is that the Zoom link, or the link that we send to your email address, it being a form of malware introduction. If that is my understanding and it's actually the case, then I would say, okay, you say, I mean, our credentials are with you now and will be easy to attack. Okay, that is very, very true. Okay, your credentials are with us. Okay, and then most importantly, one question maybe I will ask is, which of your informations do we have? Which of your data have we collected? Okay, if perhaps per registration and we demand your Visa card details or your bank account details or some monetary details, that you can question, or I mean, it will beg the question that what are we going to use these details for? Okay, that is one side. We have, let me say, information on your name, your number, your company, and then let me say your email address. That is okay. So let me even introduce this quickly. That is why we would rather demand registrant to use their company emails, okay, to register, so that we know that what this email is coming from person so and so from company so and so. Okay, and then in this case, we are keeping this information, and it isn't really an information that we can use to hate you, to get something from you. Okay, I don't know if you get me. The name, your email address, your name of your company, it's not really an information that we can use to really hate you and demand or take something from you. The bad guys out there, they don't really need your name, your company. In fact, there are certain information they wouldn't demand of you. Okay, if that would have been the case, then a lot of CEOs who have their names on their company website are in big trouble, because I can just go in there, take their names, and then use it for whatever purposes that I want to use it for. Of course, people can use your name to do certain things. To damage your reputation or to damage the reputation of your company. That is on the one side, okay? But that is not something that will be linked directly to an introduction of a malware or the potential of a ransomware attack. Okay, so I can use your name to defame you, write issues about you and your company and all have you, put it out there. Okay, but not something which will cause me to infiltrate into your system. To infiltrate into your operations and then get information, lock you out, or, and demand ransoms or introduce some malware to you. And moreover, it is also based on business commitment. Okay, I believe it is a contract that we have established. Okay, so it forbids us to actually do something which is not part of the, let me say, the contract. Okay, I believe I have answered your question. Okay, so all right, so we'll come back to the question. Let's finish this quickly. Okay, social engineering, all right, just trying to portray an identity of something. So this two pictures that I have shown you on your screen, okay, can we identify which one is real and which one is fake? If you can just, put something in the chat box. Maybe some 3, 4, 5 people should just attempt, and let's see how we are able to. Does anyone want to attempt? Okay. Okay, let me see. There's something in the chat. Okay, Romario is saying right letter is the good one. Right letter, right letter. Okay. So meaning the one on the right hand side, I believe. Okay, that's what Romario is saying. All right. Who else? Okay. Emmanuel Kisi is saying the right one is an attachment. So Emmanuel, you mean to say the right one is is fake or is real? We want to know which of these is real and which is fake. Okay. We just want to identify. Okay. So according to Emmanuel, the one on the right is fake. Okay, so all right. Okay, all right. So we'll look at your question. Let's finish this. All right. So I think yes, I agree. The one on the right. So let me say, if I am facing my computer or my presentation in this case, the one on the right looks more genuine and looks more real than the one on the fake. I mean, sorry, the one on the left. Okay, the one on the right has an attachment and what have you. The one on the right looks more real than the one on the left. The one on the right looks more real. Can we identify some reasons why? Okay, I'm sure we all know why the one on the right is real and the one on the fake is, I mean, the one on the left is fake. Because if you look at the one on the right, okay, someone is saying the URL on the one on the right looks more formal, and then that of the left one doesn't. Okay, and then if you look at the one on the right too, you could see that almost everything is, I mean, organized than the one on the left. Okay, so you have on the left, you can see I mean bold letters, a mixture of font types, fonts, font types and all have you, misspelled or underlined words and all of that. Okay. Usually, someone who is from sending a proper, or let me say, a very correct email from a recognized organization will perform some, let me say, some form of due diligence to know, who perform some form of due diligence to know, to be sure that his or her typos and all have you are right. Okay, everything is properly typed out, but there's no, errors and what have you. Okay, before they eventually push it out there. All right. Okay. So I think we are almost at the end of the presentation. Um, yes, so all these are social engineer. Okay, so um, final thought here. Okay, the ABCs of these ransomware or staying alert with regards to ransomware, there need to be one, the education about the subject matter, because ignorance most at times is what makes us prey to or victims of some of these ransom stuff. Okay, so education, I believe, is more, I mean, very, very, very important. Okay, very, very, very important when it comes to what the name, some of these information security related stuff. Okay, and then you need to back up critical data offline. All right, some critical data, you know your data, you know what you manage, what you handle. So appropriately, some critical ones needs to be backed up offline just in case, because you can't tell when these bad guys will get, through an invite to your organization. Yeah. And then use security analysis tools, okay, to sometimes weigh and analyze your system and then all these kind of things. All right. Okay. I believe, and all if all these things are blended together, although it might not prevent the ransomware entirely, it can in a way minimize its impact or effect on your organization and your system. And at the end of the day, you still have your good money instead of throwing it out to some bad guys out there. Okay. Yes. So that is it. If you have more questions, you can drop it in or ask, and then we make justice to it. I have something from Ni Amma Ashite, and it says, please, there are instances where some Windows pops up on your screen, and all you can do click OK after you have tried severally to close it. Okay. If you can give instances of such pop-up, it depends on what program you are running. Okay. Sometimes you could be running just, let me say, VLC. Depending on the task you are performing inside VLC, such pop-ups may come out. Okay, you can be running a common software on an everyday software. Okay, but because perhaps you have not explored the entire usage or functionality of that software, you may once upon a time try something new on that software, and then it will trigger some pops ups which you may click, and still it will appear. So when we have such cases, I believe your like we said, education. Okay, your IT guys can sometimes educate. Run some little tidbits about how to bypass some of these pop-ups and all have you, just to clear them and then for them to stop. Some of them are very irritating. That if you don't close them or click OK, you can't do any other thing on your machine. And sometimes it comes from genuine software that you are using on your laptop. Okay, so in such instances, you just have to use base. What I usually do is use let me say shortcut keys to log out the system, and then pull up the task programs manager, and then just end those processes. Okay. So as soon as I end that particular process, I'm able to get access back to my desktop and continue whatever that I was doing. Okay. So it depends on the kind of program you are running, and then and what within the program you are performing. Okay. I believe that answers the question. All right. Any more questions, please? Any more questions, please?
Um, uh, Thank you very much, Kwame. Sorry, guys, I have to join this meeting late. My name is Djan. I should be the one doing the presentation, but I had an emergency meeting with one of my clients that I wasn't able to join. So Kwame had to step in for me. I could see a question that someone asked, how do you define privilege escalation exploit in terms of attackers' work? Privilege escalation simply means that if an attacker or an adversary was able to compromise your machine, the adversary will be using an elevated privilege. It could be a particular service. Normally, when you look at the Windows or some of the Linux system, let me talk about the Windows system. We have the NT authority. The NT authority services normally run a privilege, normally run using a privilege access. So if an attacker was able to compromise that particular service, which is running a privilege service, it means that there has been what a privilege escalation on your system. When that thing happens, what the attacker can do, which is very dangerous, will be that the attacker can even take a remote camera of you. Okay, so just imagine that you are at home and you are doing something. The attacker and your laptop is open, and because your camera, your webcam, the webcam, the attacker can turn your webcam on, and the attacker can record all the things that you are doing. So mostly, some organization they put a paper or something to close their webcam. Other organization they don't buy laptops that contains webcam. So privilege escalation is a very dangerous attack that a lot of malicious people use. Okay, they can do a whole lot of things in there. I can record any activity that you are doing on your laptop. That is why it's very important. It's key for me. We want to change cultural, we want to change habits in whatever we do. It's very important that we patch our systems every day. Anytime you see the Windows pop-up coming on your machine, telling you that your system is outdated, quickly you need to patch that particular system. Okay. I hope I answered. I've answered your question, and I'm really sorry for not starting the presentation. Um, I hope I've answered your question, Benedict. Okay, if there's no other question, I want to summarize the entire presentation. Okay, it's very important for us to note that social engineering, each and every one of us has been socially engineered. Okay.
Hello, Ni.
Yes.
Ruben here. I just to add to I don't know if I can make a contribution.
Okay, you can add.
Yeah, so on the part of system update, I think we should also be cautious of what we click for system update. So if it's a Windows update, we have to be really sure that it is the correct process, or it's coming from the correct right source. Otherwise, in the with advice you've given, that we should all try and update our systems whenever we see the Windows update. In a rush to do that, we may end up clicking the wrong thing that will even give access to the bad people. So we should also be careful what we click for updating our systems. That's what I wanted to contribute.
Thank you very much, Ruben. Thank you very much. As I was saying, I want to summarize. Social engineering is very dangerous, and each and every one of us has been socially engineered. Let me give this instance to you. You went to Accra Mall, okay? When you went to Accra Mall, then you saw a very nice dress. You are having a budget to go to Accra Mall to get something. But when you went there, you saw something else. So it means that the person or the advertiser was communicating to your emotions, okay? Anytime someone communicates to your emotions, you can be easily social engineered. We guys, we can be easily socially engineered, because you see a very beautiful lady, all of a sudden you want to pay the beautiful lady her transport fare. Okay, it means that the lady has what compromise your emotions, and you are doing something. If you were to be thinking rationally, you will not be doing. So each one of us has been socially engineered. That's why these fraudsters, whenever they call, they try to touch upon our emotions. The moment they tell us that my daughter is in the hospital, my daughter is sick, they know that once they can touch on our emotions, they can socially engineer us. So we should not have a knee-jerk reaction, okay? We should think logically before we do things. Let's all think logically, because social engineering is the way that the adversary can bring your institution down. All of us, we are working digitally, so we need to be very careful. Let's think logically. We shouldn't think using our emotion. We should be what? Emotionally intelligent in our daily work. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nee. Any more questions, please? Any more questions? Okay, Patricia, yes. The slides will be sent afterwards. Okay. All right, from George Odro. Hi, you showed a chart for number of attacks per month for the year 2020. I hope that data relates to Ghana. And if so, what is the established reason for the hike in the later months, September to December?
Basically, you know,
Okay.
2020,
Will you
2020,
take that?
yeah, I'm taking that. 2020 was a very difficult year. 2020, because of the COVID, a lot of us were working from
Okay,
home.
I
Okay?
think Niche not in here. So that data was not related to Ghana. It was, I mean, like I said, it was from the US Department of Intel. Let me go back and see if I can prove that. Okay. Yeah, I believe this what you were talking about. Ransomware was pervasive in the year 2020 with this ransom program growing most organization. Okay. No, I think this.
Kwame, let me take this question.
Just a moment. I'm trying to find that particular
Why?
slide. And then,
Hello, Kwame. This particular survey was not done in Ghana. Okay, what the research that was conducted, it was conducted across the
okay.
globe. Okay, they were looking at the rate of.
I'm sure it is this slide. A ransomware was pervasive in the year 2020. I'm sure your question is about this. Okay, and then you were asking, and then you were asking. Just a moment, please. My hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
Hello, Kwame. Yeah, he can't hear me. Let him. He can't hear me. Okay, this particular survey was conducted across the globe. Okay, it was not done. We didn't take the survey using Ghana as a case study, but we used this. We took this survey across the globe. What they found out was that in 2000, because of the coronavirus, a lot of people were working from home. Lots of people do not understand the impact of this kind of ransomware in people's lives. Okay, they didn't ascertain that kind of impact. Okay, so when they contacted it, because a lot of people were working remotely from home, a lot of people were socially engineered. Okay, that's why we had that kind of spike during that period. Okay, because during that period, a lot of people decided that okay, we need to work from home. When that thing happened, there was no awareness because we were getting we were getting in terms of the new normal. Okay, right now, if a survey should be conducted again, the ransomware attack will be somewhat reduced because we doing awareness like this is all about we changing habits. Okay? So that's why you had a spike in September, October, because a lot of people were working from home. It became official that people can work from home. Okay, I hope I've answered your question. Benedict asked whether how can social engineering be used to change passcode on bank account. Wow, it's an interesting question. Okay, now if you are using a passcode, so some people call it a multi-factor authentication. It means that either the person needs to what, get access to the token that is running on your smartphone. Okay, so I know that I've compromised your email. It means I have what, the first password or the first key to your account, but I need to get the second key. And normally the second key can be found either you using a token or you using SMS as a form for you to access your bank account. So what I'll do is that for me to get that particular thing, either I will socially engineer you using that emotion thing that I told you about. I can do some kind of reconnaissance. Okay, I'll try as much as possible to get as much information about you. I want to find out the thing that you like, the thing that you like. Maybe on Twitter, you like cakes. On Twitter, you like dresses. Okay. Then what I'll do is that I'll put a certain malware on that particular. I'll send a tweet or I'll send a message to you, and I'll put that particular malware in that particular file. And because a lot of people do not update their smartphones, once you click on that particular file, it means that I've gotten access to your mobile phone. It means that if I should put in the password because I have access to your PIN, your password. Once I put in the password, it will send a second authentication to your SMS account. Now, because I have access to, I can see whatever you are doing on your smartphone. I can see the SMS that is sent, and I can insert the SMS, or I can see the token that the token keeps on changing, and I can put the token on the access control information that is being displayed by the application. And right now, I can get access to your bank account. Okay, so it's very important that mobile phones. You know what I do every quarter. not every month, what I do is that I go to my app store. Then all the apps that I've installed from my app store, I try to update all the apps. They have a way of doing it. You just go in there, update all the apps. And also when I get a notification from Google saying, because I trust Google, when I get a notification from Google saying that my smartphone that I'm using is outdated, I try to update it. Okay. So it's very important that we keep our system. We think before we install the update though, but we keep our systems updated. By doing that, we can prevent ourselves from this kind of malicious uh, uh, attacks from our adversary. I hope I've answered your question. Answer your question. Okay. Okay. So Kwame, you can take over now.
Okay, okay. All right, thank you very much, Nick, for that one.
Na 10 cedis team tracker.
If we do, do we have any other question?
30 cedis.
Okay, Nick, someone is from Benedict. Please, how do we expose ourselves for attack? Oh, I think this has already been. How do we expose ourselves for attack based on the kind of information we put on our social media handles?
It's a very, very good question. What I'll say is that try to limit personal identifiable information about you, the person. When I talk about personal identifiable information, information that can identify you. An example would be that if someone should get access to your SNIT account or your SNIT your SNIT account, it means that the person can can uh, can uh, can take your identity, your identity online. It means that the person can go to Facebook and get access to your Facebook account, because when you want to change someone's get access to someone's Facebook account and you've forgotten the password, Facebook will request that if you are having any recognized or identifiable uh, 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 information that your country uses, you can send it to Facebook, and Facebook will give you the new password. So I would say try as much as possible to limit that kind of information. And also, a lot of people post a lot of information on their WhatsApp. They post their wife's name, any picture of themselves, they put it on WhatsApp. They put in, they reveal a lot of information about themselves, even on Facebook. If their children are going to school, the school, they post that kind of information. Um, um, if their wife is having a birthday party, they post information, and they give all those kind of they put in all those kind of personal identifiable information. All these things, the attacker will be collecting it so that it becomes a digital dossier. Then the attacker will use it to attack you. I've seen instances whereby someone was able to go to a school because at the back of his daughter's jersey, the person has written his daughter's name. That my daughter is what? Let's say Na Ashoko. Okay. So what the person did is the person went to the school saying that, okay, I'm looking for Na Ashoko. The person was able to, they asked the person a lot of information, and the person was able to give those kind of information to the proprietors. Okay, to cut to end it all, the person was able to get access to the child. Okay, now a lot of schools, what they do is that they give some kind of forms to tell you that you need to tell us the people or the person that we can give your daughter or your son to. Okay, some schools have putting place some kind of controls around that, but try as much as possible to not expose a lot of information on WhatsApp or the social channels that you normally use. Okay, try as much as possible not to do that. I hope I've answered the question. Okay, Kwame, it's up to you now.
Okay, Neat. Thank you so much. If we do not have any other question, then I think we'll bring this meeting to an end. All right. So thank you so much for staying. We spent a lot of time, though. We apologize for that. And then we hope that this session has really given us a lot of information that will help us going forward. We will send the slides plus the recording to your, to your respective heads, and then I'm sure they can in turn forward them to you. Okay. Thank you so much for staying. Have a great evening. Bye.